Hey guys, welcome to the closed beta of Tropico 6. Yes, it's finally here. Now let's cut straight to the chase. Actually, I'm going to close this down so that you can see all this stuff going on. I love this opening screen. There's all kinds of stuff. You'll see the space shuttle launch in a second. Let's cut straight to the chase. The big question that everybody's going to ask is, okay, Tropico 6, how does it compare with Tropico 4 and Tropico 5? Okay, spoiler alert. It's really good. What they've done, they've kept all of the really cool stuff that they introduced in Tropico 5. They've made it look better than Tropico 5. The game, certainly at a high level, the game looks beautiful. The islands look awesome. And then they've been very bad presidentes, actually, because they've been listening to the people. And they've included a lot of the features from Tropico 4 that weren't included in Tropico 5 that people have been asking for. If you go on the forums, what have they included? They've put work modes back in. They've put election speeches back in. They've put the ministry back in. And then, on top of that, they've then added in a bunch of new stuff. So the new Tropico 6 features are the archipelagos. An archipelago is just a group of islands. So instead of having one island, you've now got a bunch of islands. And of course, you've got to connect those islands together, and so you get bridges. Now, I love bridges, so I get excited by bridges. You may not like bridges, whatever. It is what it is. You can also ferry people across. You don't have to use bridges. So there you go. And then they've added things like raids and the world wonders, which is why you can see all of these wonders of the world all over the place. So what's in the closed beta? Because it's not the full game, okay? In the closed beta, you get the full tutorial, and I've gone all the way through the tutorial. It's in 5 sections, and it covers all 4 of the eras: the Colonial, World Wars, Cold War, and Modern Times. So yes, they've kept the eras in. I know some people didn't really like the eras personally. I like the eras. I think the eras is a really nice mechanic. So you've got the full tutorial, and then you've got 2 missions out of the apparently 15 missions that come with the I guess the full game. And then they've also included sandbox mode. Oh yes, and they've included 2 of the maps that you'll be able to play on in sandbox mode, and there are also a couple of campaign maps from the 2 missions. So there's all in all, there's 4 maps you can play on. And I've dipped into that, and it's full-on sandbox mode. So, yeah. Now, I am going to be playing every single scrap of this game that I can play, and I am going to be releasing those videos to you literally as fast as I can make them. Now, before we jump in and play, there's a couple of things I want to show you. First of all, in the options, I just wanted to mention 2 things. First, the game, when you first load up the game automatically detects your hardware and sets up your settings for you. And now I've got a GTX 1080 graphics card, and so it went straight to ultra settings for me. And then the one thing I wanted to mention in the gameplay, the UI scaling. It's got UI scaling, so all you people with 4K monitors, be happy. It's got custom scaling. So you can set that to custom and then adjust this. So that's the options. And customization. Not only can you customize El Presidente with, I like him traditional. I like him with the aviator glasses and the big Cuban cigar and his military outfit. But yep, you can dress him up in all kinds of clothes and outfits and different cigars and stuff. But you can also customize the palace, which is really cool. Anyway, enough about that. Enough yak. Let's play the game. I'm going to start off with running through the tutorial. The tutorial is excellent. It takes you through all the mechanics. So all of you people who want to know, like, how does it compare with 4? How does it compare with 5? This is what you want to see, because it's going to show you all the mechanics. Once I've gone through all 5 sections of the tutorial, then we'll jump into the missions. So let's get going. So this is Chapter 1, Basics and the Economy. Now, I'll point out for transparency that I have been given exclusive access to this game for the next 24 hours. I'm the only UK content creator with access to the game, and Calypso are doing the same with other European territories across Europe. So basically, if you want to listen to a Tropico with a British accent, then you're stuck with me for the next 24 hours. Now, they also offered a paid sponsorship of this video, which I declined because I don't make sponsored videos, not with developers or publishers. Now, they did send me the game free of charge, as like every game I play, I'm sent free of charge. Now, if you think that biases me in any way, I'd suggest you go and maybe watch my reviews or my playthroughs of Urban Empire, which is another Calypso game that I was given early access to, which I was not that kind about. So yeah, I just wanted to be clear, transparent, and say no, it doesn't bias me. So my opinion is my opinion. And by the way, if you missed the llama on that opening screen, go back. There was a llama on the screen. Did you see it? Okay, let's get going. So, Chapter 1. Welcome to Tropico. You are El Presidente, the dictator of Tropico, a small but thriving nation located somewhere in the Caribbean Sea. You will build, expand, trade, and issue laws to guide Tropico through 4 turbulent, historic eras in which you will have to face global superpowers while trying to juggle interior political factions. Try saying that 3 times fast. How will you be remembered? As a benevolent leader who cares for the people? Unlikely. Or as a dictator ruling with an iron fist? Sounds more like it. Whatever you choose, the main thing is that you stay in charge. Quite right.
Hola, Presidente.
Penultimo!
It is I, your loyal Penultimo, with a workout for your mighty brain. A formality, I know, for one of your brilliance.
Quite right. Hello, Penultimo. Oh, I've missed Penultimo. Yet even a political savant must stay in practice. Please demonstrate a few of the leadership techniques with which you intend to impose your flawless will upon the nation of Tropico. Penultimo is prepared to gasp in awe. Right, let's get through these tasks. Yeah, it's going to give us some tasks, basically, and they're over here. That's what that says. This is the first tutorial task to complete. You'll need to complete each tutorial task to finish the lesson. Open the task screen and view each current task. Okay, so we don't know. All this is showing you is that as well as clicking on the task down here, it puts all the tasks in tabs up here, so you can click between them like that. There you go. So easy. Camera controls. It does default now to WASD for the camera controls, which is freaking good news. In Tropico 5, it was just the arrow keys for panning around, but now it's WASD, which makes me very happy. And then it's the standard mouse. Hold down the middle mouse and you can rotate and tilt and all that kind of stuff. And zoom with the middle mouse button. Archipelago view. Now we see the archipelago for the first time. When you want to have a better overview, or you want to move the camera somewhere else more quickly, archipelago view is the tool for you. You can toggle it directly. So down here, this is the archipelago view. So you can toggle that. Or if you zoom out far enough, it'll just switch automatically to the archipelago view. So yeah, activate it and deactivate it. And now you'll get to see how good looking this game is, because from a distance, if I zoom out, now it will flick to, there you go. Now look at that. I just think in this version, certainly compared with 5, I mean 5 was pretty good looking, but this just looks, the islands are just so much more lush. I'll show you when we can. Pause the game time and speed it up and slow it down. So pause it, restart it, and now I'll show you the islands. They're just, I don't know what it is that looks better. Is it I think it's everything. The trees are more dense and more lush, and the water and whatever looks better. Look at that waterfall over there. It does look very, very nice. Certainly from this kind of view, or even this kind of view, it looks really good. When you get right up close to the buildings, they are good. And look at these cows. These cows are... Look at the tails swishing around. It is good looking. The animations on some of the buildings are not... I'm kind of spoiled because I've been playing a lot of Frostpunk recently, and the animations and stuff are awesome on that. So like the animations over here, right? See, it's going to drop that like into that one. Yeah. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for that. 10 out of 10 for like the zoomed out. Looks awesome. Right, should we get on with this? Let's get on with it. So speed it up to ×4.
I am so proud of you, Presidente. Your control of your Tropico is absolute.
Thank you, Penultimo. I especially enjoyed marveling at your palace from so many angles and distances. Amazing. After this, maintaining your power should be simplicity itself.
Your loyal citizens do whatever you tell them to do.
No, they don't. They are not as loyal as Penultimo, of course, nobody could be, but they are good for construction buildings, making and transporting goods, and generally keeping the economy ticking over. Dream Team. If you want to be the world's greatest dictator, you need to make sure that you have a full treasury of all necessary expenses. The basic way of making money in Tropico is to produce goods and export them. The dock and the Teamsters Office are the main drivers of export. Teamsters fetch goods from production buildings and deliver them to the dock. They're stored there until the next freighter arrives. Select the Teamsters Office and expect it, and select the dock and inspect it. Talking to the palace, this is the palace, and you can see the grounds are empty at the moment, and this is what you can customize. So you can change the layout and you can add extra stuff in and make it look however like you want it to look, which I think is a nice touch for this version. So let's have a look. So in here, this is the Teamsters Office. Here are the work modes that are back again. See, with different work modes you can implement. Teamsters Office organises logistics on one island. Transports goods from production to processing buildings, transport goods to docks for export. And then the docks. Transshipment Centre for Logistics handles the import and export of goods, handles the immigration and emigration of people, decreases the crime safety nearby. So that's that. Goods connections. The Teamster trucks are already busy transporting corn from your plantation, which is over here, and hides and meat from the ranch, which is over here. There's also a mine that's producing gold, but it's not connected to the Teamsters Office by road, so they can't reach it. Connect the mine. I think we can do that. Here's the mine over here. So let's grab a road, and the roads work exactly the same. Connect, connect. They automatically curve and do all the stuff that they've done before in previous versions. There we go. Boom, done. From Tropico with love. Now that the mine is connected to the road network, the Teamsters will transport the gold to the dock. The next freighter will automatically export the gold, earning you money, which is added to your treasury. Every time a freighter arrives, a newsfeed, and there's one up there, will display the money earned from the export. Your current treasury balance is displayed up here. And running costs like building upkeep and wages for workers will deplete your treasury over time. Remember, you can increase the game speed if waiting for the freighter takes too long. Cool. All right. So if we go over here and zoom in, we can actually watch. There's the freighter. If we speed it up, let's get it in here and then we'll watch it dock. It is good. I do like it. It's not the most beautiful game I've ever seen, but it's pretty freaking good. Now I will criticise one thing, and actually, it's the spacebar. Now, normally you would expect the spacebar to pause the game, right? No, the spacebar they've linked to the archipelago view. But you know, that's I haven't looked. Can you change the key mappings? It's scrolling guides tasks. To save. It doesn't look like you can at the moment, unless I've missed something. No, that's graphics. That's the gameplay. So no, which is yeah. I would much rather have the because you don't really need that. You've got you can zoom out like really easy. So I think that should be changed. Yeah, to not use the spacebar. Should be paused. Okay, enough of that. Export 50 gold, so we've got to wait for the next freighter by the look of it, so let's speed that up. While that's doing that, let's go and look at some cool stuff. Let's see. We've got the gold. Yes, the gold's sitting at the dock waiting for the next freighter. Here comes the next freighter. So, when it, you know what, when it gets close to the dock, I'm going to slow it down, and we'll actually try and watch that animation. Oh.
Look! A boat! It looks so tiny from here.
You won't let me.
But I doubt even you could lift it.
There is some funny stuff. Okay, that's not that funny, but there is some funny stuff in this tutorial. It warms Penultimo's heart to see the ships coming to Tropico and taking our goods out into the world. Not that what we make isn't good enough for Tropicans to use, of course. It's just that we make much more money when we sell them to our unsuspecting export partners. Cool. Service mentality. Other sources of income come from service buildings and residential buildings. Their profit margin is not as big as from exports, but their revenues are regularly credited to your treasury each month as rent or directly in the case of visitors' fees from service buildings. Construct your first tavern. Let's do that. So I just wanted to go over here and show you the full animation on the ship. See, in like, if it was a 10 out of 10, this hold would actually like open up and that would stack on top of another one and whatever. But I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. I am going to complain about the pause, but I'm not going to complain about the animations. Right. What the hell was I doing? Oh, yeah. I'm out in the tavern. So, entertainment, tavern, and it tells me exactly where to put it in this instance. You get a little bit more freedom later on. Yeah, let's put it there. Now, the building animations they're not unique. It's all the same animation. Let me speed this up a bit till they start building it. They just erect a wooden scaffold. Now, this one, because it's a small building, it's just a couple of guys doing it. If it's a bigger building, then there's a crane in the centre hoisting these up. And literally, they just stack them up a certain... It depends how big the building is, how many layers they stack up. And then it just goes down and that's it. So I'll show you this one and that's it. In future, I'll just quick build. So some goods can be processed into refined goods that have better export prices. That's the job of industrial buildings in general. You can process the hides from your cattle ranch into leather using a tannery. So let's put in a tannery. So, industrial and tannery. So let's put it over here, opposite the ranch. Let's turn it around the right way. There we go. Does it care? Oh, it wants me to put it exactly here. Like I said, you get a bit more freedom later on. And I want to turn that round that way. There we go. Boom, in it goes. So you can see this time we've got a big crane and that just plonks them around. But we can also just click on quick build. I haven't got that much money in this first bit, but we'll have loads of money later on and then we can just quick build everything. So, tannery built. Hooray! There was much rejoicing. We need to produce some leather. So if we go over here, we've already got hides delivered, so all we need are some people to come and work here, and here we go, 40, 50, that's it.
I knew you would get the hang of this way of issuing orders.
But remember, it's all about stuff. Build stuff to make stuff, build stuff to move stuff, and then build stuff to export stuff, so you can stuff your pockets. Oh, excellent. Of course, it's the Tropican treasury that's really getting stuffed. Wink, wink. Quite right.
Making money is good, but you know what is better? Making more money.
Quite right, Penultimo. The basic plan is to get things to make things to sell abroad. But every step of the way, there's something you can do to squeeze more money out of production. Okay. Contracting. Now, anybody that's played Tropico is familiar with setting up trade routes. So we just want to set up a trade route to export leather to Mexico. So if we go, if we go to the trade screen and go, the contracts are split into food, raw resources, processed resources, minerals, I can't remember, consumer goods and luxury goods. So we want processed and leather, Mexico, accept. Cha-ching. Hooray, expanding. With the trade route signed, you might want to make sure that your tannery has enough hides to keep it from running dry. So let's build an additional cattle ranch. The efficiency of some production buildings depends on certain properties of their location. To help you identify, a coloured overlay will indicate the worst locations in red and the best in green. This is standard Tropico. So we need to put in a cattle ranch that is between 90 and 100. So ranch, I want it round that way. I think we just pop it in next to there. That's 96% efficiency. That'll do. And then we want to hook it up with a road. It's running out a little bit. There we go. Cool. And that I'm going to quick build. It's only 450. Boom. Hooray. There was much rejoicing. Budget. Every building has 5 budget settings. Again, bog standard. Anybody that's played Tropico knows how this works. The budget of a production building is, like the cattle ranch, determines its wages, the attractiveness of its jobs, and its efficiency. On a cattle ranch, a higher efficiency will lead to a higher production of hides and meats. So check the budget, check the efficiency tab, and wait for the cattle ranches to be fully staffed. Okay, so now this again works exactly the same way as Tropico 5. So over here, you can click on this, which will set this building. And it tells you there, if you hold the control key down, then it'll set all buildings. So I'll hold the control key down, boom, and they're both set. And that changes the efficiency over here. So the budget modifier plus 25%, and the efficiency is now 109. And this one over here, the efficiency is 121. Sweet. If you have money to spare, you can purchase building upgrades that permanently improve certain aspects of a building. Although upgrades improve a building, they add to the acquisition costs that you'll need to overcome before the earnings of the building reach the return of investment. Cool. Install chrome tanning in the tannery. So here's your upgrades. Chrome tanning. Decrease the consumption of hides by 25%. Boom. Right. If you cannot supply enough hides for the tannery to operate efficiently, you can fire workers to save the cost of wages while reducing the rate in which hides are consumed. So fire a worker and then close the slot. So over here. And it, again, works exactly the way that it always has. Fire the worker, right click. You now get confirmations, which and you can either keep them or turn them off, which I like. And then close the slot, boom. And you probably, did you see? No, you probably, well, I don't know. You can also hire foreign workers, but we'll cover that later. Some buildings can operate on different work modes. Here you go, work modes. Some of you will be very, very happy to see this back. They can improve certain aspects while hindering others, or even change the main purpose of a building entirely. In contrast to upgrades, work modes can be switched at any time, allowing you to react to changing circumstances. So, switch the dock work mode from sniffer dogs to regular controls, and set both cattle ranches to the humane exploit work mode. Now, some of these are like pretty simple. So, if we do the docks, sniffer dogs reduces the crime by 15% and decreases the efficiency of the dock by 25% as a result. Or you can run it on regular. Right? So we're going to run it on regular. Okay. Now, some of them are very simple. Some of them are more complex, and this was the complaint of some people about Tropico 5, in that people thought it lacked some of the depth that Tropico 4 had, that it had been dumbed down a little bit. Well, they've added it back in. If you look at things like take the plantation, this has got two work modes: monoculture and multiculture. Now, monoculture, it just works as a standard building. Multiculture, it decreases the efficiency by 60%. So it's only working at 40%. But the plantation doesn't decrease fertility over time, and it gets plus 20% efficiency for other plantations in the vicinity with a different crop running on the same work mode. So yeah, we're increasing the complexity again. So some people will be very happy to see that. Right, let's get these changed. Now, it doesn't say it, but the same applies to this. That you can hold down the control key to set all of them. This one's set, let's change that to pasture prohibition, right? So that one's pasture prohibition, this one's pasture prohibition, and then if I control click on humane exploit.
So many ways to juice the fruits of the Tropican economy.
Indeed. Trade routes for better pay, tweaking supply chains for fun and profit, fire workers to save money, or close job positions for even more schadenfreude. Now, for anybody that doesn't know what that means the good feeling you get from witnessing somebody else's misfortune. So, yeah, we do like a bit of schadenfreude. Not to mention fitting new equipment and changing a building's production orders. The power is all yours, Presidente. Viva el Presidente. So, that's it. That is the first tutorial. Should we do the next one? I think we should.
Your job would be so much easier without the citizens. Perhaps one day we will be able to replace them.
Until then, you'd better learn how to keep them all happy. So this second tutorial is all about learning how to do the politics and all that kind of stuff. So let's go. Shacks. Have you ever wondered about the shacks blemishing your tropical paradise? I have. They're the bane of my freaking life in Tropico. I can never get rid of all the shacks. Apart from looking shabby, living there doesn't really make the tenants happy, and you're missing out on rent revenues. Tropicans build shacks on their own whenever residential buildings with vacant flats are too far away from their workplace. So, whenever you see a shack, you see people who would rather live in a real residential building in the same place. So, in other words, build residential a bit closer to their work. That simple. So, build 2 bunkhouses next to the Fisherman's Wharfs on Volcano Island. Alright then. So, this is Volcano Island, and we need to bang in a couple of bunkhouses. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to just extend this road a little bit. There we go. And then we'll throw in a couple of, where are you? A couple of bunkhouses. Yeah, there. Oh, I should have held down the shift key. If you hold down the shift key, you can place multiple buildings. Let's quick build those. They're 600 each, but we've got 200,000 now, so we can just quick build everything. Alrighty. Select a citizen working at one of the fishermen's wharves. We've got, I think, 3 fishermen's wharves. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, as well as the docks. So, I've got to say, the docks, a little bit boring. There really isn't much going on at the docks. We've got the fishing boats that come in and out, but that's about it. I haven't looked around. I haven't really seen any staggering animations. There's a lot of fish. I'm sure it's very smelly, but no awesome animation. To be fair, though, this game is more an economic and political sim than it is city builder. So I guess we can forgive it. That's not the focus. So let's have a look at Nerea Martinez.
I am sorry, not today, please.
I do like some of the responses when you click on the people. I'm sorry, not today, please. So what were we doing? It was click on you, and you've got their happiness. So this is their overall happiness and their thoughts. Your mama's so classless, she could be a Marxist utopia. I haven't seen that one before. I tell you I was miserable, but I'm too depressed. It's proletariat kind of cheese. Oh yeah, I love Tropico. Overall happiness. Citizens always look for jobs and try to find a home as close as possible to their workplace. But these are only 2 of 8 aspects for which they strive for satisfaction. Altogether, these 8 aspects determine the overall happiness, which is compared to the happiness in the rest of the Caribbean Sea. This ratio affects decisions like emigrating, joining the rebels, or being a compliant citizen if they're happy. Open the info panel of a fisher and inspect the happiness tab. So, it'll be Nerea Martinez again. What did I mean by that? I didn't mean anything. I'm sorry. Did I offend you? And let's have a look at the happiness tab, like we did before. So yeah, food, healthcare, fun, religion, housing, job, crime safety, and liberty. This one is never going to be that high. Not in my playthroughs. I don't know. We'll see. I feel the dictator coming out. The happiness aspects are updated regularly whenever a citizen feels the urge to have fun. They will then try and find a building that is close by that they can afford, which provides a high amount of happiness per visit. Disappointment reduces the happiness levels. Crime safety and liberty are different. They're updated whenever the agent is spending time at home. If an individual's happiness level gets too low, it can have serious consequences for your citizens. They could become criminals, join the rebels, or even die if their food happiness drops to 0. Food happiness, yeah, starvation. The fisher you just selected could use a bit of entertainment. So let's construct a building that provides it. Build a tavern on Volcano Island. And in case you didn't see it, that Nerea...
Hola, how are you today?
I'm very good. See, she's cheered up now. Her happiness, I think her happiness was 30. Fun happiness. Doesn't he give me a number? Okay, well I think it's 30. Yeah, okay, whatever. So, let's build, what are we building? Tavern, I think. Yes. Entertainment. Tavern. Let's slap a tavern in. That's why I wanted to move these up a little bit so I can slap the tavern in here. So, boom, in you go. I've got to say, the taverns do look quite good. Let's, should we quick build it? Let's quick build it. Boom. And there it was built. I personally, I could sit out there, sip on a nice cocktail, blow the froth off a couple. Loving it. Alright, so that's the tavern. With the tavern constructed, it will soon attract workers, and eventually the fishermen from before will visit it to improve their fun happiness. But ruling is not really about catering to the needs of the individuals, but rather caring for the people as a whole. No, it's not. It's about caring about me and my wallet. Statistics, demographics, and average values are your friend, and they're all part of the almanac. Again, anybody familiar with Tropico knows about the almanac. Let's have a look at what the statistics say about the fun happiness. Open the almanac and expect the fun happiness on the happiness tab. Oh, maybe this is what I remember being 30. I think it is. There you go. Fun. Fun is 30, and fun. Yeah, there you go. So that's that. And yeah, you can see your overview, and then you've got your happiness and your people and your economy and your politics and your foreign relations and your building lists and conflicts, but we'll see more about that later in the tutorial. So, what didn't I look at? Happiness. Oh yeah, I wanted to drill into fun. So, and I tell you what, Tropico's UIs are always good, and this one seems to be as good as any. You can drill into all these things and see exactly what you want to see, like entertainment buildings. So what's going on? So I've got 2 taverns. Let's have a look at this tavern. Okay, fine. And then you can drill into the stats for that tavern, see exactly what you want to see. Same with the opera house. Okay, so there's the opera house. Well, where is the opera house? Focus on the building. It's all there. Like everything you want to do is right at your fingertips. I really like the UI. And I like the style in general. I found it very, very easy to use and easy to like negotiate around and stuff. So there you go. That's that. Locating the issue. As you can see in the almanac, not only the single fissure was low on fun, the average fun happiness of all your people combined is also quite low. To find out where exactly fun is lacking and where to construct buildings to provide it, you can consult the fun coverage overlay. You already know it from placing a tavern, but you can also inspect it beforehand to identify residential areas. So let's have a look. So what I'm going to do, as it said, if you zoom out to the archipelago view, and then look at an overlay, then you can see all the 3 islands at the same time, or however many islands there are. In some, there's at least 5 or 6 islands in some of them. So fun coverage, and there you go. You can see your fun coverage across all your islands, and you can see it if you zoom in as well. So there you go. That's fun coverage, and you can see you've got coverage for all kinds of stuff, and that's just this tab. You've also got the island. So this is the city. This is the island. This is food, livestock. This is natural, no, this is minerals. Is this natural resources? No, crop conditions. Crop conditions and then resources. There you go. I'm learning it. Addressing the issue. The coverage tells you which residential buildings are close enough to entertainment buildings, which seem to be okay on all 3 islands. Waterfall Island only has an opera house, so most of the people living there can't afford it. Use the quality overlay. So let me show you. If I open up the quality overlay. So we were looking at the fun coverage, and it says, yeah, fun coverage. You know, this is all green. But if you look at the quality coverage, you can see these red ones. They can't afford it. They're like, nah, you're kidding. I can't afford to go to that expensive opera house. This is the opera house. Yeah. So they won't use it. So yeah, I really like the way the overlays work. They do allow you to figure out what the hell's going on. It's like, how's my coverage in general? Good, right? But how is it for individual people, like individual households? I've got issues. It's good, isn't it? I think it's good. So we want to build a tavern because that's cheaper for the cheap people. So let's slap in a tavern over there. And let's quick build that. Boom. And there it was, done. Cool. I need to build 2, don't I? Let's see. I should read this. Oh yeah, build one on Waterfall Island and build one on the centre island. So we want one over here. And where am I going to put this? I guess we want it. I guess we want it fairly central, I think. So yeah, I think we'll put it over here. So let's go tavern and let's put it that way. There we go. And we'll quick build that one as well. Boom. There it was done.
Everyone happy is impossible, of course.
Hooray!
So you have to play the numbers. In brief, you are number 1, I am number 2, and everyone else is way down there somewhere.
Quite damn right, Penultimo. So there you go. That's lesson complete. That's the end of tutorial 2.
Troubling part of your job.
No, it's not.
Not everyone knows you are doing such great work.
I thought it was. No, that's not the end of tutorial 2. How crazy is that? Yeah, absolutely. People always think they know best, and sometimes you have to be politic, which means inventively bribing pressure groups to win those niggling elections. There's so much to learn. Right, let's race through this. In the previous lesson, you learned all about the overall happiness of your citizens. It feeds into their approval towards you as a leader. However, this is mainly determined by their political views. An individual citizen will orient their views towards some of the political factions in Tropico over time. There are different levels of commitment to a faction, moderate, strong and die-hard, which determine how strongly that faction influences the citizen. Instead of orienting towards a faction, a Tropican can also remain indifferent on certain topics. Open the info panel of a citizen and inspect their political views. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the almanac and the politics. So it wants us to look at one of the capitalists, one of the moderate capitalists, and it is Carla Munoz.
May I just squeeze past, please?
Yes, you can squeeze past. I'm sorry. Was I in your way? And let's have a look. She is a moderate capitalist and strong militarist. Yeah, let's stay. Yes, you can definitely squeeze past. I'm sorry I was in your way in the first place. Scary woman. Factions. Again, statistics are more helpful than looking at individuals. The Almanac tells you how many citizens support a faction, and more importantly, it displays the standing of each individual faction towards you and your government. The standing of a faction is passed down to the citizens oriented to that faction. Also, if the standing drops too low, a faction might start an escalation in which they use their unique means and influence to oppose you. Open the Almanac and inspect the Politics tab. So let's have a look. So, here are the capitalists. There are 94 of them, and they're 83% approving of me at the moment. So, and again, like I was saying with the UI, like everything's exactly where you want it. You can see like all your modifiers, all the people, you can find them really easy, drill down into everything. It's very good. Demands. So, you will want to have a good standing with each faction. They have opinions on a lot of the decisions you will make, like building or demolishing certain buildings. All of these factors are listed on the Politics tab in the Almanac once they've taken effect. On top of that, they will approach you directly once in a while with specific tasks, which are called demands. You don't have to accept them, but if you completing them will significantly increase the standing. Not reacting to them or dismissing them will decrease your standing. Accept and complete or reject the faction's demand.
I had the nightmare again, Presidente. No, not the penguins. The destruction of Tropico by falling bombs.
I've got to say, General Rodriguez is one of the most imbecilic characters in the game. No, not the penguins. I awoke to find I had knocked my nightlight off its little table. But that's not the point. Help me to help Tropico, or I may never sleep again. Have a watchtower. So, yeah, alright then. We'll accept it. And then we'll build a watchtower. Watchtower. Let's throw it in down by the docks. I always like a watchtower down by the docks. And quick build. You want to see
The
it?
best defense is a good offense, Presidente. But as yet, I am only moderately offensive.
He does make me laugh. Have a watchtower. +5 militarist standing. Hooray! Dual demands. Sometimes two factions will have a demand at the same time, forcing you to choose sides. Yeah, pretty straightforward. So you accept one side or the other, and you make one side happy and you piss the others off, and it's just...
My flock are blessed with faith, hope, and charity. And I hope I can have faith in your charity, Presidente.
Presidente, the workers have a request. They wish not to work, but that is impossible. So they also have a backup request.
Some of this, actually, those aren't particularly amusing, but some of these are pretty funny from these two. Who am I fooling? Heaven was never an immediate enough incentive for you. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they want us to build a chapel. They want us to build us a bunkhouse. And we're going to upset one of them, and we're going to make one of them happy, so it is what it is. So I'll build a chapel. Ultimatums. If the standing of a faction gets too low, they will issue an ultimatum or turn a pending demand into an ultimatum. Ultimatums are timed demands and the last chance you get to keep the faction from starting an escalation. If there's nothing to gain, there's nothing to gain from escalations, so trying to complete the ultimatum is always the better choice. Complete the ultimatum. All right, cool. Militarist ultimatum. Your lack of respect for the military is unacceptable, Presidente. We're on the verge of a coup. Surely you know the risks of getting on the wrong side of the army. Please don't make me sit on a junta. Presidente, I don't want to be a politician. Build a barracks. All right. No, I'm not going to abandon it. So we need to build a barracks. So, yeah, build a barracks. Military barracks. And let's throw this in. I always like a barracks over by the Presidente. I think that's always a good thing. Which way around? I want it that way around. Pop you in there. Quick build that. Ship, ship, ship. Boom. And they're all happy again. Hooray. Oh, we need to build a chapel as well. Let's throw that chapel in. And you can see it, as the tutorial goes on, it starts giving you a bit more freedom. So what do I want? I want service buildings, don't I? In public services and, not church, chapel. Where should we put the chapel? I think maybe just put the chapel down here would be fine. And the entrance is in the right direction, I think. Approval. Remember the political views of citizens? Yeah, kind of, sort of. Depending on the standing of the corresponding factions, they determine how much the individual agrees with your government. That, together with the happiness, determines the person's approval. Depending on their level of approval, a citizen will either be for you, against you, or decide on election day. The percentage of eligible citizens who will vote for you is called support. You can find more detailed information in the Almanac. So let's have a look at the
The
politics
best
town.
defense is a good offense, Presidente. But as yet I am only moderately offensive.
Oh, I don't know about that, General Rodriguez. I find you quite offensive. I can get either 5,000 as a reward or +5 militarist standing. I'll have the standing, thanks very much. Right, what was I doing? Almanac, yes. Politics. So, down here we can see the support from the eligible voters. So we've got 71 voters. 61% of them support me, and the others need to be killed or locked up in an asylum, frankly. How dare they? Every 10 years the people will ask for elections. If you lose, it's game over. So if your support is very low, a short-term option is not to allow elections. Best way. But this will directly affect all your voters on a personal level, extending their approval for some time. The good thing is you can decide to hold an election speech. Yes, election speeches. Hold an election speech. Now, this is very cool. I do like this. I'm glad this is back. This was definitely missing from Tropico 5. The actual election will be held 1 year after its announcement. Until then, you still have the possibility to raise your support by pushing faction standings or bribing faction leaders. Loyal Penultimo will come once more before the election and offer to rig the elections in your favour, guaranteeing you a certain victory, at the cost of losing more people to the rebels after the election. So now we have to win the next election. So accept.
The citizens are demanding elections, Presidente. It seems that they want a choice in how they are ruled. So selfish.
Yeah, how freaking unreasonable. Shall we give them what they want, or shall we make them want what you want them to want? I always want what you want, and you always want what you want, so shouldn't they want what you want? I agree. I will deliver an amazing speech. So what you could do, there are 4 sections to your speech. So you can choose, for example, an issue to acknowledge. So you could say, you know what, I don't know, like fun happiness, for example, because that's really low, right? So fun happiness does not contribute to the approval of voters for the election. Isn't that cool? And look, we're up to, well, we're at 62% now. We'll see what I can get this up to with a decent speech. So, do I want to praise a faction? Ooh, I should probably praise the militarists. They're low, so let's bring them up. We can blame somebody for something. Do I want to blame the Allies or the Axis? Yeah, I don't want to upset them, so probably no. I'll probably leave them alone. And then we can make promises as well. I think, again, like, well, we're already acknowledging fun happiness is an issue. So if I was to promise to do something about fun happiness, they'd ignore it anyway. So let's do housing. So we'll make some ridiculous promises about housing. So undecided voters who are most dissatisfied with housing happiness will vote for El Presidente. So let's deliver the speech.
My Tropicans, my people, my children. Your prosperity is my honor. Your solidarity is my faith. And I gracefully accept your love. You are my Tropico. My people, are you bored? Let Presidente entertain you. Oh, is nothing fun anymore? Let Presidente be all the fun you need. You don't enjoy life? Let Presidente enjoy it for you. And as we strive, our efforts are protected by our brave Tropican army. Our fighting men and women give no quarter, and neither do our soldiers. What can you look forward to in the years to come? Better housing, slantier roofs, straighter walls, more transparent windows. The Tropican house of tomorrow is built with standards. It is you,
It's
my
quite cool,
friends,
isn't it?
who I thank for making me what I am today. I am proud to be your Presidente. Viva Tropico!
Hey! And the crowd all disperse. Wasn't that missing from Tropico 5? It really was. And now look, our approval is up to 84. So what I'm going to do now is whack it up, and we just need to wait, really, until the next election happens. I still need to get that chapel built, don't I? Let's get that built. Hooray! That'll make some people happy as well.
I knew I could count on you to do the right thing. Eventually. And for a price.
Okay, so we get +2 religious standing. That's excellent. Okay, so I'm actually just gonna whiz it along until we get to the election.
I'm sure the good citizens of Tropico intend to vote for you, Presidente. I myself intend to vote for you many, many times.
So here we go, election rigging. We can subtly pre-adjust the ballots, or we can just let them vote freely. We're at 84%, so it's fine. Let them vote freely. So while we're just waiting, that's just before the election. So while we're waiting for that, I don't know, what can we look at? What can we look at? There's all kinds of stuff going on. There's all kinds of buildings to look at, and this is the chapel, isn't it? Yeah. No, that's the church. That's the church. Where did I put the chapel? Here's the chapel. Chapel's quite nice. That freaking whistle's so loud. And then all these freaking shacks that we've got to get rid of.
A landslide, Presidente. The metaphorical kind, not the kind that accidentally reduces the size of the workforce.
I love the wording of that. Of course, the outcome was never in doubt. The people love their Presidente almost as much as your loyal Penultimo does. And see, I have a present for you. Your very own wartime Medal of Valor for courage, selflessness, and electability. It's made of chocolate, so be careful in the sun. Man. 67 loyal Tropicals voted for you, and the other 10 are going to be hunted down and persecuted. Sweet. And there's the Constitution of Tropico that we can set up and sign. Confirm the changes. Yes, it's fine. And that's effective until 19th for the next 10 years. Hooray!
Keeping all the factions sweet is the key to political success. It is also impossible, which is why politics is such good fun.
Lesson complete. Keeping all the factions sweet is the key to political success. Indeed it is. And that is the end of that tutorial chapter. So we will leave it there. Guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I hope that you've seen enough and enjoyed it enough that you want to see some more. So there's going to be a playlist in the video description, so if you want to see more, I'm going to be pumping out these episodes as fast as I possibly can. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Come back for more. I'll catch you for the next one. Peace out.